Welcome everyone, and we are in conversation with Karishma and Koushik from Zepto, the brand which redefined the E in e-commerce to the Q of quick commerce. And this is a brand and an industry where it is at the cross section of on-demand services, real-time services, as well as stellar customer experience. It is really challenging for a brand to be able to deliver services and products at a time which is really short and at a time whenever the customer wants. It is challenging to keep this experience consistent across the complete cycle from the order to the last mile of delivery. And Zepto has successfully done this again and again and continue to do this with millions of customers every single day. In today's conversation, we wanted to understand from them what is the level of innovation and what is the level of the kind of personalization that they have to bring to be able to do this every time, every single instance. So with that, welcome Karishma and welcome Koushik. One of the quick questions which I had to start with, and I know that demand shaping or the ability to really service demand at any point in time and do that in such a very short period of time. How does it play a critical role for a new category, an explosive category like quick commerce?
So Zepto works in a hyper delivery local model, right? Unlike any other organizations, Zepto caters to orders at an hourly level. And most of these orders we try to forecast how much ever we can. But there will be certain scenarios where certain stores there will be higher demand but less supply, or less demand and higher supply, due to which certain stores are stressed, while there are certain stores which have potential to deliver more orders, but there are no demand coming in.
Yeah.
So in such a scenario, it's very important that how can we shape the demand, because see, orders and all is not in our hand. You can't control this, it's quite organic. But using external factors or external levers like communication levers, etc., how can we use this to kind of shape gets very important here. So demand shaping, especially in a quick commerce space, is very important, because like I said, right, unlike any other organizations, we have to cater at an hourly level, and you just don't have control over that.
And that's a very, very interesting problem, right? And that's what happens when you are innovating like a brand like Zepto is on an everyday scale, and you're creating a new category. There's a new set of problems, which matches the new grand set of opportunities that you guys are tapping into. When you're looking at demand shaping, right, it is a demand shaping problem of a scale and a speed and performance which previously was never seen before. How or where did you see the challenges when you came about this problem, and how did you go about solving for those challenges?
So like Karishma was mentioning, right, how tough a problem it is to exactly forecast what demand we would be getting in hand, right? And at whoever customer reaches to our specific platform, we would want to tailor our experience in a way where we are able to deliver the best for them, like I've mentioned, the speed and performance of it. But then we have set a plan much before based on our forecast, for which at times we are put in position to move out of it, right? Sometimes we are over predicting, sometimes we are under predicting of what we have done it, right? At that time it is at that place where we are put at this spot to understand how to best deliver to our customer. And one of the way that we chose was to either cut the demand that is more than what we are having, or boost the demand further when we want to do it, right? So when we are putting it to the term as demand shaping, that's what we meant, right? At terms, we want to not take the demand that we can consume, and at terms, we wanted to produce it or generate more of it. And when we went to go about this, right, and we went with the most natural way for us, we tried identifying the localities where there was more stress and stuff like that. We obviously went more manual into it. We started getting into writing queries, analytics and stuff like that. And then we used to ship a list of stores to the respective team, and then the team used to do manual actions and stuff like that. But by the time we actually got into the actions, it was too late, since it was too dynamic, and then we weren't able to actually mint exactly what we wanted to do there, right? And whatever existing solutions we had weren't catering to this problem, and that's where we had to look much more real time, much more dynamic, and much more metric that reflects the true reality on the ground.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that Zepto and CleverTap has been partners for a while, and it has been as enthralling a journey for us as it has been for you folks. You folks being the leaders in kind of defining this category, and a problem which probably didn't exist because a service like yours never existed before,
Yeah.
right? Tell us a little bit about how did you, having seen that the existing technologies would not solve for where your problem was coming from, how did you go about solving from this problem? What kind of metrics did you see, and where did you see the customers kind of gain from this kind of an experience that you've seen? What kind of outcomes did you see?
So, like the problem statement was quite clear to us. That we were trying to get traffic at the wrong time in the wrong store, and at the same time we were not able to get the right amount of traffic at the right time to the right store, right? So, like for example, I told you when there are stress stores, how do we curb or abort notifications from going out at the right time, right, at a real time basis? And at the same time, how do we ensure that at the right time we are sending the notification also to the right user, again at a real time basis? The problem statement was quite clear. Then comes to the solutioning part, right? We of course explored our internal tech capabilities, we explored CleverTap features, and we figured that the best time is the best opportunity is to get that sweet spot of finding it at a real time basis when the notification should go out. So we looked at a couple of features which I think Koushik will explain better.
Sure.
So I mean, CleverTap had certain capabilities which we were leveraging, right? Like push notifications at scale that we were using at Zepto was mostly powered through CleverTap, right? And it had enormous capabilities with respect to how you can time these notifications, right? Now, the problem at hand for us was that time which we had predetermined still existing at the current setup or not? Does it still fit it or not, right? And at times it wasn't, which is where we got into this problem. So we first built our internal systems to actually reflect the ground reality in much more real-time fashion, right?
Yeah.
Not through somebody sitting and writing queries and stuff like that, but we made our system real-time where the system was able to say that within last 10 minutes, what was the stress at a specific locality, right?
Yeah.
And we did it with quite real-time with almost like millisecond latencies, and we made it really scalable. But now the challenge was, how can we pass this information into CleverTap, right? To be honest, we struggled for it for good 4 or 5 months, but then when we looked at when in a specific conversation with CleverTap, it came up that there was a feature called Content API, and we really got engaged at that point of time. We really were seeing it, does this fit our use case? And we tried out. I think the team was also very helpful to set up a quick call. Within the next day, we tried it out. I think within 2-3 days, we actually got something working, saying where that whatever information we had in real time, we were able to seamlessly pass it to CleverTap. Now, what it actually enabled us to do was at the nick of sending a notification, we had a hook saying that should we send this or not from our system, and our system was determining this by looking at all the real-time features at that point of time, and then just saying a yes or no to CleverTap, and then just like that we were able to scale this to millions of notifications with ease, right? So there it helped us. Initially, we start off just saying no at times when our system was at stress, but then we got really more interesting intelligence and thought that could we also trigger notifications back when systems were actually not under stress, right? That's where I think we chose the CleverTap's linked content feature along with best time of the day functionality, right? There, what we essentially did was whenever CleverTap hinted our system that this is the best time you send a notification to customer, then we also checked our system that whether the store is serving lesser demand than what it was supposed to, right? So this feature also helped us to filter out all the candidates where we could send the notification to, and then we just tied it up with our metric that said if you can actually boost it or not, and then boom, we instantly saw how we can generate demand at the right time.
So it's like, just to summarize, Zepto tried to identify whether the store is stressed or not stressed, and CleverTap helped us send it at the right time to the right user at the right time.
And in real time, much more important.
And in real time, yes.
Yeah, and this is really, really fascinating. I know most of us growth marketeers and all the way to economists keep talking about supply and demand. This really is a merging of supply and demand to drive the right
Yes,
growth.
very much.
And is there any metric as a subject of this, right? My personal guess would be, of course, outside of, and we heard some of the other conversations, outside of the nudge to do more business, I'm sure it would have a lot of impact on your customer
Yes.
satisfaction
Yeah.
and happiness as well. So any anecdotes, feedback that you got from
Yeah,
your
so I
customers?
think especially like in demand shaping, it's divided into two parts, right? One is where we're controlling the demand, and one is where we're trying to boost the demand. In terms of controlling demand, we've pretty much managed to curb a potential amount of order loss, which we would have faced at an hourly level again.
Wow.
And at the same time, we've managed to boost demand at the right stores at the right time, so getting more orders and better conversions using the features, etc. And at the same time, it's also personalized. Sending at the right time. When the user has the more potential to convert at that particular timing. Or he has more potential to order at that particular timing.
Yeah.
So it's personalized at the same time. We're solving for two completely different business objective with the same module, and at a hourly basis and at a real time basis. Like, what more do you need?
Great, great. And I think that's the beauty of it all. And that's why we wanted to have this conversation, because not only have you defined a completely new category and been at the forefront of that category, but innovations like this are where customer satisfaction and therefore customer lifetime value kind of definitely increases. People not only do more business with you, they do more repetitive business with you. And all the very best. And we know that there is a grand future for Zepto, and we really, really look forward to more such innovations from probably one of the more innovative companies out there in the Indian startup space. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks so
very
much.